Coming up on Broncos Connected, your Denver Broncos kick off the season in just 2 days against the Tennessee Titans. John Elway and Vic Fangio share how this team has overcome all the obstacles 2020 has thrown their way. Broncos running back Phillip Lindsay shares how the last 9 months have changed his attitude towards the game of football and life. And learn how the state of Colorado and the Broncos organization work together to make the Broncos' second home game accessible to fans. Broncos Connected is next.
Thanks for tuning in for the latest edition of Broncos Connected. I'm Alexis Perry. Given the unique circumstances, there is no doubt the past few months preparing for the 2020 season have been challenging for the Denver Broncos. But now this team is faced with a new set of challenges with their 8-time Pro Bowl pass rusher out indefinitely. Tuesday night, news broke that Von Miller dislocated a tendon in his ankle, an injury that will place him on IR in the near future. Entering his 10th season in Denver, Von seemed to find renewed inspiration and dedication as he began training camp, committed to making this his best season yet. But now that that's on hold, it's next man up for this Denver defense. Edge rushers Malik Reed and Jeremiah Attachu are both coming off an impressive training camp, and it's safe to say with those two and the return of Bradley Chubb, there's still plenty of talent for opposing quarterbacks to fear this year. On offense, quarterback Drew Lock will have no shortage of targets to choose from as the Broncos kept 7 wide receivers on their 53-man roster. The offensive line will be anchored by rookie center Lloyd Cushenberry, who is coming off a national title-winning season with the LSU Tigers. You'll also see second-year left guard Dalton Reisner and newly acquired veteran Graham Glasgow at the right guard position. They are expected to protect Locke and create space for the potentially dynamic duo of running backs Phillip Lindsay and Melvin Gordon. In a year unlike any we've experienced before, the Denver Broncos managed to add 19 new players to this roster, including another undrafted college free agent, cornerback Essang Bassey. In spite of the many challenges and changes from the draft to training camp and the cancellation of the preseason schedule, President of Football Operations and General Manager John Elway, as well as head coach Vic Fangio, believe the Broncos are positioned for success this season.
Happy to be joined now by President of Football Operations and General Manager John Elway. John, overall thoughts of camp, big picture. I know the ramp-up process was slow and it's unlike anything we've ever seen, but from where you stood on the field, how was that ramp-up process? And in your mind, when did it start to look like, what we're used to seeing during training camp?
I think the players have done a heck of a job of really adjusting to everything that they've been asked to do with all the new protocols and everything that's going on in this world. They've really done a tremendous job. And so I'm really excited about that, the way the maturity that they've shown, the way that they've kept working. And I'm excited about where we are.
Drew Lock spent the entire offseason knowing he was going to be pretty much the guy when he got to training camp for the first time. Having kind of gotten to the end of camp now, what have you seen from Drew and how he utilized that offseason to get ready for this training camp?
He's done a nice job, camp. Obviously, it's been tough because with Pat coming in, Shermer coming in, there's a new offense and so a new scheme. And so had to learn that in the offseason. And then, so without the OTAs, didn't have nearly as many reps that we normally get in the offseason. But he's done a nice job of adjusting. And, we're excited about Drew. He has great arm talent, can move around, can really make some tremendous throws. And, the key thing for him is just to stay within himself. And he knows the expectations are out there and try to live up to those expectations, but live up to his own and stay within himself and rely on those other 10 guys on the offensive side.
Happy to be joined now by head coach Vic Fangio. Coach, on the defensive side, being year 2 of your system with the defense, has it been easier to get your message across the communication process, or has COVID kind of, eliminated that advantage, so to speak?
No, it's been you can feel the continuity. We have a lot of guys returning on defense, and the guys that we picked up in the offseason. A couple of them are veteran players like Casey, like Bouye, and they've done a good job of picking it up. We did have the virtual offseason, which did help. Okay, it's not the ideal way, but it was better than nothing. So I feel like we have had some continuity there from past experience being together and with the virtual offseason.
In your mind, coming into, week one or heading into week one, how do you think that the rookies have acclimated themselves to the NFL game and the NFL lifestyle?
I think overall it's been good, but they've all had their ups and downs. Learning something virtually, sitting in a classroom, and then go out and executing it on the field is two different things, especially when you didn't have an off season to lay a foundation with them. So hopefully we'll get them to where they look more like NFL players quickly.
How excited are you about this year, maybe compared to years past, because of how much you've had to endure, sacrifice, just to get to this point?
I think there is an excitement now that wasn't there early in camp, because I think everybody's convinced we're going to be able to do this. The doubt has pretty much been removed about whether we can do this or not. We can. Now, that doesn't mean that if we let our guard down, we could ruin it, but hopefully we won't. We haven't to this point.
Still to come on Broncos Connected. Broncos running back Phillip Lindsay shares what excites him most about Pat Shurmur's offense as the season opener grows nearer.
Welcome back to Broncos Connected. I'm Alexis Perry, and I am so thrilled to now be joined by Broncos running back Phillip Lindsay. Phillip, since the final game of 2019 to today, so much has happened. You became a father, you thrived throughout an offseason during a global pandemic, and you watched the running backs room for the Denver Broncos change quite a bit. So how do you think the last 9 months helped you grow as a player and as a man?
As a father, it's changed a lot, with me having a newborn son. It's changed my mind, the way I approach things. And it just gives me that the gratitude, and it's just a blessing to be able to have him in our life. For me, it's just exciting to be able to do things with him. But the football side, it is what it is. You got to adjust, you got to adapt. I think with the NFL, it's more mental. It's a mental game when it comes to this. Everybody's good. Everybody has the athletic ability, but mentally, are you tough enough, strong enough to continue to push through? And with my, son coming in, it's definitely given me a lot more motivation and sense of urgency for him.
Well, switching gears a little bit, there is so much buzz surrounding this team and this offense under new coordinator Pat Shurmur. So what is it about Pat Shurmur's system that excites you the most?
Me, honestly, I can adjust to any system, but I think for him, for me personally, it's more aggressive. It's going to be downhill. It's different reads. I think it's more of a feel like how I would be like my rookie year, which, I had a lot of success. So I'm excited in that point. But overall, it's just about buying into what he has to offer for us. And if everybody can buy in, the receivers, the quarterback, all the offensive linemen, running backs, then we can have success with this offense, but, at the end of the day, as much as we want to say about the pass game and how explosive it is, it's going to start with the run game, because that's how you open up things for Drew and the receivers.
To build off of that, do you feel like there's an added emphasis or maybe even a little bit of pressure on you guys to run the football well to alleviate some of the pressure on Drew Lock?
I don't consider it pressure. I consider it like something that any good football team has. If you have an established run game for most of these teams, you're going to do well, because that controls the clock, physically beats people down, and it opens up the pass game tremendously. So, honestly, I take it as, for me, I want to be one of the best running backs in the NFL. And so in order to do that, we got to be able to run the ball. In order to run, to be successful at that, we have to be on the same page, and we got to move the ball. So, I know for me, I don't take it as added pressure. I take it as, Melvin and I have to do our job, and for us to be successful and for us to do what we want to do with the receivers, then we need to do our job.
What has it been like going up against this Denver defense, specifically the front seven, every day during practice?
Yeah, they're tough. They're tough. They definitely, they're powerful, they're strong, and, it's hard to get to beat on them because Coach Fangio always disguising something. So it's been really good for us. At the end of this, we have one of the top defenses. Then it's going to be easier for us because if we have the top defense, that means that the other defense aren't as good as ours. Coach Fangio got that defense going really well. They come together, they gel really well, and for us, it's good to see that. So that when we get on Sundays and Monday nights, that we're prepared.
Well, last but certainly not least, what is it about this Broncos team this year that gives you confidence that 2020 will be a successful season for this team?
We have more depth at every position to where when somebody goes out, they're tired, there's not a drop-off. And that's how you win games. And I think the biggest thing is getting special team pieces as well to go with some of the players that we already have. It's about showing up as a whole franchise. In order to hang with the Kansas City Chiefs, you got to be able to compete. And I think that we have, not only can we compete, that we can win a lot of games if we can get on the same page early.
While you won't be able to see Phillip Lindsay and the rest of the 2020 Broncos in person as they open Monday night against the Tennessee Titans, you will be able to see Broncos Hall of Famers and fans at the stadium in the form of fan cutouts. See who you could spot in the stands on Monday and head to denverbroncos.com/cutouts for a chance to see your own cardboard cutout at future Broncos games. And for those of you craving those game day traditions, be sure to tune in to denverbroncos.com Monday night at 7 o'clock for the Bud Light pregame show delivered by Drizzly. The Hall of Famer Steve Atwater and Broncos TV's Matt Boyer will join me as we get you set for kickoff. We'll take you inside the stadium for player warm-ups and get you caught up on the latest news while also bringing you your favorite pregame and in-game traditions. It's all streaming live for 1 hour on the Broncos website and social media channels.
Coming up on Broncos Connected, Governor Polis and Brittany Bolin came together for an exciting announcement regarding fans in the stands at Empower Field at Mile High, Week 3.
Welcome back to Broncos Connected. During the Broncos' 2 stadium practices during training camp, fan noise was pumped into Empower Field a mile high in hopes of recreating the noise generally created by 76,000 fans on game day. While coaches and players said they liked the artificial noise, they all agreed they'd prefer the real thing. Therefore, Brittany Bolin, Broncos Vice President of Strategic Initiatives, in consultation with the state of Colorado and the Colorado Department of Public Health and Environment, created a plan to host fans in the stands Week 3 when the Broncos host the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
This virus can defeat us in 2 ways. One is it can obviously hospitalize us, cause illness, and destroy our health, and in some cases even cost us lives. It can also win by defeating our spirit. And we can't let it defeat our spirit. Broncos games are a big part of that spirit. And the answer is not that they can't occur. The answer is, of course, they're going to occur, but we need to do them in a safe way and really moving 1 yard at a time, getting that safe process right, which of course is important to the public health, but also very important to the Broncos organization, which of course takes the health and wellness of their own fan base very seriously. I'm thrilled to announce today that the Denver Broncos game against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on September 27th will allow a limited number of fans to attend.
Fans are a big part of our team. They bring our entire building to life. That's why we're excited to welcome back a limited number of season ticket members starting September 27th with many health and safety enhancements in place. As Governor Polis said, we are not back to normal. Empower Field at Mile High will look and feel very different this year. In addition to mask and social distancing requirements, seating will be done in small pods and sections will be broken into groups. Our organization is hopeful that this is the start to gradually increasing fans at Broncos games this season. But we understand that takes the entire community, both on game days and in our daily lives, doing our part. Our organization remains committed to partnering with Governor Polis and the state to help stop the spread of COVID-19.
The Broncos will hold a weighted lottery for season ticket members who, if selected, will have the opportunity to purchase single game tickets. While we won't see all 76,000 seats filled at Empower Field at Mile High for quite some time, the Denver Broncos still have the ability to bring this community together. Denver Mayor Michael Hancock knows the power of the players and the Broncos brand, so he spoke to me about the impact this organization can have on our city, state, and country.
I think any sporting event, and certainly the Denver Broncos in professional football, has a powerful, powerful platform to bring people together. We cheer for the people in orange and blue and really hoping that they do well. It doesn't matter what class you come from, what community you live in, what your skin color may be. We are Bronco fans first, and we are there to root on them and to talk about the pains, the ups and downs of following this team. The Broncos mean a lot. I think they are so well embedded in the psyche of this city, that quite frankly, the state, and really the Rocky Mountain region. Our attitude, our energy really follows the flow of this team. This is not a great place to be on Monday when we lose, but it's a great place to be, obviously, when we're doing well. And so, we can use this. It's a powerful tool in the toolbox to bring people together. And while we have your attention, to really propel, I think, some very tough but important conversations. Let me acknowledge what our professional athletes have done. I've been overwhelmed by their acts, quite frankly. Leadership does not require an invitation or a title, and these young people recognize really the platform in which they have to affect change and to really create an opportunity to have the voices of the young in our cities and communities all over this country elevated. So I'm awfully proud of what I saw these athletes do all over the country. And you know what? I'm glad they're leveraging their celebrity to raise these issues. We got to remember, a lot of these professional athletes come from these very same communities that are protesting and demonstrating and feeling some pain right now. And so for them to stand up and say, but for the fact that I'm here, it could have been me. I'm excited that they did that, and now we got to begin to move from just a conversation piece to action with them as well. The Broncos season starting gives me an opportunity to place my focus when I'm not working on weekends somewhere else, and for 3, maybe 4 hours to go to a place that I'm really familiar with, I'm real comfortable with, and I always anxiously look forward to. And that is watching my beloved Denver Broncos play on Sunday. I'm very excited about this team. It's a team that's loaded with a great deal of talent, a lot of young talent, which means we're all, as fans, going to have to be patient. But we're excited. I'm very excited to see how Drew Lock performs in his second year as the quarterback and his first full year leading this team.
Coming up after the break, Broncos Hall of Fame safety Steve Atwater was joined by some of your favorite Broncos alumni throughout training camp. Hear what they think about this Broncos team as they head into the 2020 season.
Thanks for sticking with us for this final segment of Broncos Connected. Throughout Broncos camp, the Hall of Famer Steve Atwater was joined by a number of his closest friends for Training Camp Live. And let me tell you, Steve Atwater has some really great friends. From Peyton Manning to Simon Fletcher, some of the greatest players to ever wear orange and blue shared their thoughts on this current Broncos roster and some hilarious stories from their playing days as well. Here are some of our favorite moments.
B-Stoke, thanks for being here with me, man.
Oh, man, thanks for having me. I certainly appreciate it.
Chad Brown, Nick Ferguson. Yes, sir. Fellow safety, my man Rod Smith here. Special guest, Peyton Manning. And Broncos all-time leading interceptor, Steve Foley. Sticky hands, Foley.
Yeah.
You made it.
Man, let me get one of them expeditions or something,
Ford
man.
will take care of you, Rod.
Man, that's what I'm talking. Give me a Ford skateboard, anything. I'll ride anything. I don't care.
Simon Fletcher, the sack leader for a long time, Fletch.
Nearly 25 years.
That was a long time.
Yes, sir. I don't feel a day over 80, though. Look at me.
You still look like you can play, though.
Looks are deceiving, brother.
Just been thinking about all those that are kind of going through tough times right now, and hoping football can come back. As we've seen many times, Steve, football can make a difference for a lot of people.
When we were playing, we actually saw a guy, and we know it was from the Raiders during a big game, on a building next to us, was laying down and was filming practice.
No.
People ask me all the time, Reggie, who hit you the hardest in your NFL career? And they always think it's like Ronnie Lott or Junior Seau. And it was Steve Atwater. It was during my rookie training camp up in Greeley.
Well, you know what? I don't want to seem like I'm a little biased here, but I guess I'm going to come off that way. I like Albert Okwuegbunam.
Oh, man, wow. I'm trying to figure out, is this me talking or is this you talking? Because it's the same thing I feel.
Really? Well, see, they say great minds.
But you got a record that I know you don't like to mention. I'm hoping that somebody else breaks that.
Nice
not on our team.
Right, that's right. Yeah, got some good candidates this year with some of these new rookie quarterbacks. That's the rookie interception record. I was just told the other day, I've been saying for a while it was 26. It was actually 28.
28, yeah.
Just mentally, I dropped it by a couple. So as long as it doesn't get to 30, I'll be okay.
Lloyd Cushenberry III, born and raised in Louisiana. This guy has 3 rings for 1 championship. Come on, man. How do you get 3 rings for winning 1 championship?
Wow. That's I only got 1 ring for winning the national championship with the Buffs, but I do have that ring with a #1 in diamonds on it.
That's all you need then.
I look at that and it just brings me a lot of pride with that thing.
Hey, is your golf game good? Because, Peyton Manning,
he threw me under the bus the other day.
I'm just saying.
This was right after this show. I mean, did you set that up?
Playing with Tiger, man. Come on. I mean, you got
right.
What do you expect?
Exactly. I mean, who would you rather have as a golf partner? I mean, Tiger Woods or me?
Thanks, man. Stay safe. Thanks for having me. Go Broncos.
That's all the time we have for this month's edition of Broncos Connected, but be sure to follow us on Twitter at Broncos TV and stay connected with the hometown team anytime on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and the Broncos 365 app. Thanks for watching.